Hey lads, Brooke, Chris, Breda. I feel like you've all been waiting outside the door just to come crushing through it, rushing into class. It's good to see. Hey Brooke. Mags. Roxy. Hey Roxy. Hey Caddy. Welcome. So we'll give it the proverbial final 60 seconds before we fire into the class. So before we begin, I think we've all done gravity yoga before, but you know props are a big part of it. For this evening's class, let's see, in all likelihood, yoga strap, Colette, hi. Yoga strap, if you don't have a strap handy, that's okay. Your good old reliable mother's best tea towel. Just kidding, it's not my mother's best tea towel. But you know, something like this. We're going to do the leg protocol, stretch out our hamstrings really strongly, so probably going to need this. We're going to do the classics, kind of the pretty familiar formula of hamstrings. We'll do double pigeon hips. Mikey and Brooke last week did Superman, different names. I think it's Superman. So you may need a bit of wall space as well. I think that's it for props. Pretty sure. Always as well, you know, something for some of the poses. If you're sitting and your back is rounding, it's good. It's good to have a folded blanket. It's kind of like standard yoga prop gear. Hi Rita. Okay, let's begin, and we begin by establishing our breath. So we do a breath that we call whisper sounding breath. For that, we breathe with our mouth softly closed. Aim to get the breath up here to the back of your mouth, the top palate, kind of the soft bit towards the back of the roof of your mouth. If you could have just this sense of breathing in and out through there, yeah, with the mouth softly closed. We start to make that nice breath of sound, but we're not forcing anything in our throat. We're not tensing our vocal cords or anything. Yeah, so just takes a bit of practice, but just think, breathing up towards the back of the roof of your mouth, that soft sort of palate bit. Yeah. And we breathe in through our nostrils, and we breathe out through our mouth. Okay? We'll do a few rounds together. The final bit is that we pace our breath so that the exhale is twice the length of the inhale. Okay? I'll pace us through a lot of the practice, but just so that you know, you will inhale for a count of 1 to 4 through your nostrils with your mouth softly closed, and exhaling for a count of 8 back to 1 through your mouth. Yeah, in breath through the nostrils, out breath through your mouth. Inhale, count of 1 to 4. Exhale, 8 back to 1. And we're looking to direct the breath towards the back of the roof of the mouth. Yeah. So we start to make that nice ocean sounding breath, whisper sounding breath. Let's do a few rounds together. Okay? Mouth softly closed. Stay comfortably. Now take a breath in towards the roof of your mouth for 1, 2, 3, 4. Opening your mouth, exhaling. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Closing your mouth, breath in for 1. Breathing out, opening your mouth. Close your mouth. Inhale. Great. And now exhaling. Open your mouth. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You got it. Great. Okay, let's continue. One hand on your heart. Allow your eyes to close for a few moments. Place one hand on your belly. Little, just like a gentle press down on your hands, so you really sort of waken that sense of your physical form up into that field of open awareness that you come into with your eyes closed. Quietly repeating, if you care to, may my practice strengthen my body and strengthen my mind. May my practice strengthen my body, strengthen my mind. Okay. Now you can open your eyes, release your hands, and we'll do a couple of preliminary movements, postures, before we push into the actual gravity yoga postures themselves. I'll say more as we go, but for now, standing tall. You can have your feet about hip width apart. We'll do a lateral stretch, a sideways stretch. Arms comes out, arm extends up towards the ceiling. And then reach up. Keep it easy here. Okay, we're just beginning to animate our physical form, and then casually, easily starting to maybe go out over the head a little bit more. Let's take hold of the top wrist if you care to. Now remember, particularly in gravity yoga, but in all of our classes, we're not trying to achieve anything. Okay, the less we do, the better. So just lengthen comfortably. Okay, come back up. Just for a moment. Bring your legs together. A little bit more stretch. And again, off you go sideways. Keep it easy here. Nice. Inhale, breath. Up you go. Before we move on, upper arm. Inner rotate. So now your palm is facing out to the side. Stretch out. It's a little bit more opening through the lats here. Peel the ribs apart. Good. Okay. Up you come. Change sides. Stretch up. Let's begin with our feet hip width apart. Settle into your body as you settle into your stretch. Okay. If you can have the sense of relinquishing effort, so that as you sort of direct your body to the shape, the nervous system just gives you a little bit more. Then you quite naturally deepen into the stretch without any effort. It's like a yielding into a stretch. Then if you care, you can take your top wrist and just get a little bit more pleasant sideways stretch. Good. We'll come up. Exhale down. This time we reach up again. You can bring your legs together. So there's an inner rotation in the bicep triceps so that the palm is facing out to the side, and stretch out over your head. It's a little bit more maybe of a sense of sideways stretch. For 3, keep it easy. 2, remember your goal is not to try and achieve anything. Just breathe, stretch, let the body quite naturally open and yield into a deeper stretch. Okay, inhale, breath up. We'll do 3 sets of our moon squats. You take your feet nice and wide apart. You can angle your feet at about 10-12 degrees. Now on the inhale, we reach up towards the ceiling. We can look up. On the out breath, round your spine, cross your fists, sit down into a squat. Inhale, breath again, extend up towards the ceiling, reach up. Exhale, breath, round your spine, relax your head, squat. 3 more. Inhale, reach and lengthen and open. Exhale, breath, round, squat down, relax your head and neck. Final 2. Inhale, breath up. Exhale, breath. Last one. Inhale, breath, up you come. Look up, reach up, open. Exhale, breath, we hold a squat. Relax your head and neck. For some of us, our heels will be up. That's fine, there's nothing prescribed here. So whatever is good, relax your head and neck. Relax your fists. Nice. Okay, 2 more sets of those. Inhale, breath. Reach up towards the ceiling. Look up, stretch into your fingers. Exhale, breath, round your spine. Squat down low, cross your fists. Inhale, breath up. Exhale, breath. Squat, round, relax, sit down. Inhale up. Exhale. Round your spine, relax your head, sit down. 2 more. Inhale, breath up. Stretch up towards the ceiling. Exhale, breath. Squat down, round your spine, sit down. Last one. This set. Reach on an in-breath. Exhale, breath. Rounding your spine. We stay this time. Okay. Very soft here. Relax your head and neck. Your forearms, your fists are crossed. As I said, some of us will have our heels in the air. Perfectly okay, obviously. Nice. Okay, 1 more set. Inhale, breath. Reach, 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 reach and extend. Exhale, breath. Round your spine. Softly squat, cross your fists. 4 more. Inhale up. Exhale, breath down. Inhale, breath. Reach into your fingers. Exhale, breath. Rounding, softening, squatting. Last 2. Reach, 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 reach. Exhale, soften, 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 soften. Final one, and then we hold the squat after this one, just for a few breaths. Nice. Okay, squat down. Relax your head and neck. Let your energy be soft for 3, for 2, then 1. We're going to unfold our body. We're going to do our very first actual gravity yoga pose, where we will do ragdoll for 5 minutes. I will guide us through a 5-minute practice. If it is your first time getting into the practice, even if you've been at it a while and 5 minutes is too long, then just go for as long as is okay for you. I'll say a little bit more as we go, but let's get going. We're going to take our feet nice and wide apart, wider than hip width. We can angle our toes out. We're going to bend those knees. I'm going to start to watch. Now, we hinge at the hips. We can hold opposite elbows. So we fold our arms so that the forearms are hanging there in the air. Now, if that is too much of a pull for you, if your arms get tired through the practice, then you can rest your hands down on the floor, palms facing up. Okay, now, some of the principles as we go. Let me first of all again say, I will guide us through a 5-minute practice. But if you're just beginning, or if you're not feeling so strong in this session, just hold the pose for as long as is okay for you. Now I will call time each minute. So we're coming up on 1 minute. So if you do feel like you've had enough, then just see, can you hang on till I call the minute mark, okay? Now remember, we do the poses for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. In this case, it's a long hold. Your job is to make the least amount of effort that you need to make to hold the pose. So here, our knees can be bent. We're still getting a stretch in our legs, so that our back is nice and long. We don't want any strain in our back. One of the principles of gravity yoga, 2 minutes, is what we call soft noodle. Soft noodle, as the image suggests, implies no real effort. Floppy, 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 floppy. Gravity yoga is a variety of yin yoga. Yin yoga is quite a soft practice. So we are looking for that soft, energetic or soft effort, even though it's a strong practice. So as I said, if holding folded arms starts to pull on your shoulders and you feel your arms getting heavy and tired, you can place your hands palm face up on the floor. 3 minutes. Nice. Remember, just do your own practice. There's no need for competition. I think one of the benefits of kind of doing a class in this situation is I know people saying the class, they kind of feel they have to be as good as everybody else and keep going in a pose when perhaps it's sensible for them to come out of it. They're quite self-conscious, even though we say don't be like that. But you know, no one can see you at home if you need to come out of the pose, right? You come out of the pose. And you can just sit and wait and come back in again when we're moving on. Now, remember your breath. All important gravity yoga breath. Okay, 4 minutes down. Last minute. Hang in there, you can do it. Use your breath. So remember, you're breathing in through your nostrils with your mouth softly closed for a count of 1 to 4. And you're exhaling with your mouth open or through your mouth for a count of 8 back to 1. On the inhale and the exhale, you're looking to make what we call a whisper sounding breath or an ocean sounding breath. I call it breath of sound. So let's do one round together. So mouth closed, breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then opening your mouth, ha sound for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bang on. 5 minutes. Well done. Nice stretch. Okay, we'll reset. Doing some plank poses. Now, plank pose. We'll do 3. Okay. Quadruped, all fours. We're going to stretch one leg back. And we're going to stretch our other leg back. Now here then, reach into your heels. Gaze forward. Past your hands. Squeeze your upper arms in. Push the floor away with your hands like you're pushing on a wall. Nice. Okay. Knees down. Sit back into a child pose just for a couple of breaths. Reset here. while we reset, practice body awareness, breath awareness, and just staying with what's happening now, present moment awareness. Okay, plank number 2. Reach back, or reach back. Be like a plank. So you're solid. Gaze forward past your hands. Lift your shoulders from your wrists. Reach into your heels. Draw the lower abdominal up into the body towards the spine. Engage your quads for 3, 2, 1. Nice. Knees down. Again, we come into a resting child pose. Sit your bum back towards your heels. Pause here for a couple of breaths. While we pause, I'll keep reminding us, breath awareness, body awareness, and present moment awareness. Okay, one more plank. Resetting. Plank pose. Up you come. Reach into your heels. Push the floor away with your hands. Hips tend to collapse. Boom. Don't allow that to happen. At the same time, sometimes hips come up too high. Try not to let that happen. We're almost through this final reset plank for 3. Draw the energy in towards the midline of your body. Draw the lower abdominal muscles up into the abdominal cavity. And 1. Nice. Down. Okay, great. Backs of the legs, hamstrings. We will recline. You're going to need either your belt. I'll use tea towel because maybe that's what a lot of us are using. We'll do 3 variations on both sides, and each variation is about 2 minutes long. Okay, I'll make sure you can see me. We're going to lie on our backs. Okay, we'll start with the right leg. We're going to take, now maybe you won't need the belt. I don't know. I'm just presuming. But so if you don't need the belt, you're good to go, right? But for many of us, we will. So we'll take the strap. We're going to take it around the sole of the foot. We recline our spine. Okay, I'm going to start the clock. 2 minutes. Here. Head down. Spine is long. Your waist is down. Shoulders are down. Arms are straight. Now remember, you're not trying to achieve anything here. Your job is just to make the least amount of effort that you need to make to hold the pose. So this is quite a strong stretch through the back of the leg, through your hamstrings. But even though that's strong, you want to stay soft. Internally, keep your breath soft. Keep the effort soft. You don't want to get into a tug of war with your hamstrings. You want to stretch it stinky, but you're okay. You can hold it. 1 minute. 1 more to go here. Now let's come back to a gravity yoga breath. Inhaling through your nostrils, as though you're drawing the breath back into the rear roof of your mouth. Then you're exhaling through your mouth, making a ha sound. Okay, let's do a round together. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Then mouth open. Exhale. Okay, good. Now we're going to move on. This time, take the strap or your belt and the hand at the same side. Okay. sideways stretch, out to the side. Now, here we have a sideways opening in the hip. 2 minutes here as well. We're actioning or activating the back of the hamstrings differently, back of the legs. We have an opening in the hip, an external rotation, stretch into your heel. Now, most of us will not get the foot to the floor, right? There's no need for competition here. Your legs in the air, perfectly fine. Stretch into your heel. Do your 4-8 breath. In through your nose, out through your mouth. There's 1 minute. Straight arms are strong arms, so here we're looking to just make the least amount of effort. So this is good for our hamstrings, but also there's some pelvic hip health protocol here, where we are opening across the front of the pelvis. There is a stretch in the groin of the leg we're stretching as well, right? The adductor. We have a sideways stretch in the hip. We can have an outer rotation in the quad and the thigh bone as well, while we stretch into the heel. Great. Okay. Now, hang in there, we're almost through the 2 minutes on this side. Nice stretch. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Up we come. Now we change the cross. We change our hands. We take the leg across the body, starting our 2 minutes. Head down, spine long. Take your leg across your body. Now again, there's different ways of doing this. I would say avoid collapsing, rolling out to the side. Keep your back ribs down, your back shoulders down. Stretch across your body. Kick into your heel. And then bring the toes towards the wall behind you. So you get a nice stretch here in the top hip and glute and buttock. We're still stretching the back of our legs or hamstrings. And we have a nice stretch, perhaps it just tightens in the inner leg as well. Now, one minute. Down, 1 minute to go. I don't think anybody really enjoys stretching their hamstrings. But we don't have to make a big deal of it. We don't have to turn. So there's a meditator's shift. There's stretching discomfort. We don't have to turn it into some sort of inner drama. It's just stretching sensation. If we can, just meet it with inner silence. It'll be over soon enough. We start to see into impermanence, the impermanent nature of feelings, experience, while we stretch. Okay, almost there. Keep your breath going. Inhaling 1 to 4, mouth softly closed. Exhaling 8 back to 1 through your mouth, making the ha sound. Nice, 2 minutes. Up you come out of that. Let's go straight into the other side. So, swap over. Swap over your foot. Place your belt around it. Maybe you don't need the belt, I don't know. We want a nice long stretch. So, you use the props until you no longer need to use the props. Okay, I'll start to 2 minutes. Now, many of us will use the belt. We may even have our knees bent. That's fine, you know. You're not trying to force a shape on your body. We need to get our nervous system to turn off the stretch reflex. And it will not do that if we're forcing the stretch on our body, right? Because the nervous, you can't tell it to turn it off. It's the nervous system. Okay, so somehow you have to reassure it. And we do that by not forcing the stretch and by using our 4-8 breath. That's why the 4-8 breath is so fundamental to the practice. All right, 1 minute here. 1 minute to go. Yeah, so we are using particularly the out breath. The out breath is twice the length of the inhale. So, you know, that's how we access parasympathetic nervous system mode, rest and digest mode. We emphasize the exhale. And we exhale through the mouth, which is, you know, it's a calming, relaxing breath. The idea of that is to turn off the body's relaxation, the stretch reflex, so that you can quite organically, naturally go into a deeper stretch. Now, okay. So while I'm talking, you need to be doing your 4-8 breath. We're coming up in 2 minutes here. Okay, 2 minutes. Now we go out to the side. Again, looking to not collapse. I'm going to start at 2 minutes. You're making the least amount of effort that you need to make to stay in the pose. I've mentioned 2 principles so far of gravity yoga. Soft noodle, wet noodle. Your energy is quite soft. The 4-8 breath. It's principle number 2. And then principle number 3 is that we meet or beat the times we hold the poses for. So I'm pacing us through these, but you need to know for yourself if you ordinarily would say hold this pose for 1 minute, that's what you're aiming to repeatedly do whenever you do the sequence, or go for 2 minutes. Yeah, so meet or beat. Okay, we've got about 1 minute, well, about 50 seconds left here. I'm going to fall silent, so it's a chance for you to be kind of meditatively silent with yourself. You could close your eyes. And one of the great factors of the whisper sounding breath is that the sound has a particular quality to it. It's like the sound of the ocean. It's calming. So even as you do the breath, tuning into that sound can also begin to organize your thinking mind if it's quite busy, bringing some quiet and stillness to it. And that's what we're looking for through the physical practice, is to be able to shift into that stillness where awareness reveals itself. Okay, 2 minutes. Now, the third variety here, we bring the foot up. We're going to bring it across the body. Maybe you're using your strap. Okay, stretch it across, cross. Whoa, a lot of tightness in this hip for me. So, here we go, 2 minutes. As I was saying on the first side, avoid collapsing. It's easy to kind of collapse and roll out to the side. You lose a stretch. So here I would say keep the back shoulders down, most of the back ribs down. Stretch into your heel, draw a little toe out or foot back towards you. Take the leg, then swing it towards the wall behind you. It's got a nice stretch in the hip, the buttocks, the glutes. Still stretching your hamstrings, kicking into the heel, and probably a stretch in the inner leg as well. Okay, Keep your head and neck relaxed. No need to be competitive. We're coming up on 1 minute. As I was saying, this is quite a strong stretch. It may be unpleasant. But our job then, as yogis, is not to amplify that unpleasantness with self-talk and a strong reaction. Just open to it. So like the meditator moves towards, instead of like rejecting and turning away and getting into some sort of inner state of distress about the discomfort, they move towards the feeling, but in an open way. Yeah. Okay, we're almost there. So hopefully if you're feeling strong distraction or stretching discomfort there, I distracted you. Alright, last 10 seconds. Great. 3, 2, 1. Nice, 2 minutes. Strong stretching. Bring the leg up. Let's maybe reset in a rock pose, reclining rock, where we will just lie on our back. We can bring our knees in towards us. Now you can have your knees apart. It's good, it's fine here. Allow your eyes to close and reset. Just take a couple of breaths. If you want to rock gently, you sway gently a little bit from side to side. Absolutely. Okay, because what's coming up next is blaster pose. Okay, great. So, up we come for time. Now again, blaster pose. I'll get it started and I will keep talking. We can begin on all fours, quadrupeds. Then we bring one foot to the front of the mat. It's outside our hands. The leg behind you, you want that hip in extension, right? Flexion is you bringing the close, narrowing the joint. We want extension, opening the joint. So the knees way back. And also I found if you collapse in the ankle, it undoes something in the hip. So point your, actually I mean it's a good thing to do at times is to play with the position of the back foot. That's a whole other thing. So here for now, just point your toes back. You could angle or tilt the pelvic area floor forward. You'll start to get a nice stretch. I'm going to start to watch because it's 5 minutes. It's a long time. Okay, now front foot. We want to walk the front foot forward of the toes. Forward of the toes. You could even angle it out a bit so you get a little bit of an opening in the hip. But the foot is forward of the toes. Now, high fingertips. No, not high fingertips. Down, different class. So, we want to be soft. Straight arms, strong arms. We kind of like make these two pillars, or kind of columns, I guess, that we rest our upper body on. Okay, you see? So that the head and neck can be relaxed. Remember the principle of soft noodle. So like these two arms are just carrying the weight of the upper body, head and neck relaxed. 1 minute down. 4 to go. As I said though, if you are a beginner, then just hold the pose for as long as is okay for you. Alright? There's no need for competition. And yeah, like I said, I know if this was a class, live class, face to face, people may stay in the pose when ideally they should be coming out of it. But in the privacy of your own house, you can come out of the pose when it's the right time for you to come out of the pose. I think it's one of the good things about a class like this. Now, coming up in 2 minutes. If your wrists are inclined to get sore, or if this holding this pose even is too much, then this way the blocks are kind of good, you know. And props like this, you can just, it's softer. You're doing your 4-8 breath, remember? Now for some, if you'd like to go further, you can come down onto your elbows. Ooh. Again, if that's too far, if you have your blocks or blankets, see, you could bring the floor up a little bit. So you just descend down. Okay, principles. Soft noodle. I'm going to come up right so I'm not cranking my neck while I talk to the camera. So you're either down to step 2, and then some of you know you could even stretch out arms further, if that's okay. But remember, okay, 3 minutes. Remember, you are better off staying comfortable at a step 1, so you can do your 4-8 breath, and you know you're making the least amount of effort. You're better off staying at that step than going to the next step and you're just uncomfortable and you're struggling and you're trying to get out and you don't stay as long. Okay? Now while you hold the pose, establish a steady rhythm to your breath. So let's do a round of the 4-8 breath, or 1 or 2 rounds of the 4-8 breath together. Mouth softly closed, breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Opening your mouth. Mouth closed, breath in. Great, that's 4 minutes. Off you go. Go for it. Just make that sound, and then let that sound be like a meditation object. You know, just hold that sound consciously in awareness, so that sound, that sound can start to bring quiet to your mind. Okay, we're almost there. The last 30 seconds. If you're feeling like, wow, that's really strong, I can't stay there, you can. Yeah, just use your breath. We're almost there. Come back to your breath for refuge, or just shift into a broad field of awareness so you're not entangled with the stretching discomfort. Great. Okay, and nice. 3 minutes. Let's exit. We'll reset in a child pose before we do the other side. Okay, we're going to sit back. We can stretch forward. Turn our palms to face the ceiling. Rest your head down. Okay, so stay in the pose for 2 or 3 breaths. Good. Okay, let's go. I'm going to get double pigeon and either pretzel or hangman in. So you need time. Okay, all fours. Opposite side. Remember, get your back hip in extension. I'm going to start the clock. 5 minutes, remember. Knee is down. You're pointing your toes. Front toes come forward. Hands are flat. And we turn our front foot out a bit. Okay. So it's a hip opening pose, front hip. But also we can get a stretch in the back. Quadricep and iliopsoas muscle. Okay. Principles. Soft noodle. Relax your head and neck. Soften your upper body. I'm leading us through a full 5 minutes, but again, you just hold a pose for as long as is okay for you. Try your best to hold the pose through the 1 minute milestones, markers that I'll call. Sometimes I've been known to forget to call the minute marker, so if you're thinking like that's a long minute, use your common sense. Okay, we're actually beyond the first minute. Now, okay, principles, soft noodles, 4/8 breath, meter beat your times. It's a nice hip opening pose, but you will find a stretch where you find a stretch. So for some of us that may be the front hip area or glute. For some of us it may be the lower back. For some of us it may be shoulders, thoracic spine. Okay, 2 minutes down. For some of us it may be the back quadricep, iliopsoas. For some of us it might be all of those. But the stretch is wherever the stretch is, yeah? So it's nothing overly prescribed here. Now, you can stay here if you like, if you haven't already done so. If you're using your 4/8 breath and your stretch reflex is switching off, maybe you find you can access a deeper stretch where you come down onto your elbows. Again, head and neck relaxed. Again, soft noodle. You're just making the minimum amount of effort that you need to make to hold a pose. There's no competition. Most people won't get their elbows to the floor. Like, so what, You just do your practice, that's a benefit. 3 minutes. Remember, breathe in through your nose. Aim to bring the breath up towards the roof of your mouth, towards the rear of the mouth. That soft palate. Yeah. You're making that sound, ideally on the in-breath and the out-breath. I forget if I called 3 minutes, but we're at 3.5. I think I did. So, I'm going to fall silent for the last minute and 15 seconds. It's a chance for you to just fall into harmony with your breath. Okay, nice. 5 minutes. Let's exit the pose. We'll take a few moments in a resting child pose before we continue. So, palms face up. Now, while you hold the pose, practice breath awareness, body awareness, present moment awareness. Okay, nice. Good, let's come up. Okay. Blaster pose kind of sets us up for half pigeon, which is deep hip opening pose. Just go as far as is okay. I'll guide us. I'm going to do 2 minutes each side. So I won't start the time until we actually we're going to do 3 minutes each side. So, pigeon pose. Maybe to get into it, some of us will lean back. Now you have to be very mindful and attentive of your knees. Right? We want to work the hips, not the knee. right? Mind your joints, your knee in this case. But maybe you sit back, maybe this is where you stay, but you are then looking to come more upright. Okay, maybe this is where I'm going to start the clock now. 3 minutes. Okay. Some teaching points. The lower foot. Tightness will want it, will bring it, it will start to sneak in towards the buttock. We want to keep it up, right? We want the shin parallel to probably the front of your mat or some line. Heel aligned with knee. Okay. This top leg, tightness here, right? It could be up, that's fine. We can lean, lean isn't the word, but we can sort of gently rest our forearms on the inner leg. Palms facing up, relax your head and neck. Yeah. Now, remember, we never want any shooting, darting sensations. We never want pain of any sharp, pain. We just want stretching discomfort. So we are looking to get the knee down. Right. That's quite strong. It will come down in time. 1 minute. We've got 2 more to go. So you're going to play. That's the word to use, but the attitude is soft. We're not forcing anything down. Remember, principle number 1, soft noodle. Head and neck relaxed. Palms faced up. Leaning forward, folding at the hip. Stretch into the top heel. Be aware of the lower heel. It may want to slide back towards the sit bump. We don't want that to happen. Now, 4-8 breaths, fundamentally important here as well. Because remember, we're looking to turn off the stretch reflex. We're looking to be able to access a deep state of stretch, but without throwing the nervous system into distress. Okay, 2 minutes down. Now here, particularly if there's tightness in the hip, maybe the knee says up, that's fine, and maybe there's a lot of tightness there, stretching discomfort. Don't give it any focus. Once you're not injuring yourself, use your breath to help you stay in the pose. So really get into the sound and really get into counting your 1 to 4 in the in-breath and the 8 back to 1 with your mouth open on the out-breath. Or even just counting, like breath comes in, breath goes out, you count 1, in-breath, and you're doing your 8 back to 1, out-breath, you count 2. And just, before you've counted very many, the 3 minutes will be up. Almost there, you can do it. Okay, great. Yep, 3 minutes. Nice. Okay. So we can stretch out for a moment. Maybe we'll lean back. Open your heart. And then just to kind of free this whole area, we will do a couple of dynamic bridges. Lift your hips. Drop your head. Just a few of these. There, 1 more. Okay, good. Now, other side. You're going to be tighter on one side than the other. Hopefully, the first one was your tight side. For me, I know this is my tight side. Okay, preparing myself for it. So again, maybe you come into the pose like this. Maybe you stay there. I'm going to start the clock. But sitting up is then, it's going to ask more of your hip. Remember, okay, we've started the clock. The lower heel will probably want to be pulled back towards the sit bone. So just resist that. Always protecting your knees. No strain in your knees. This is to work at the hip. There's no need for competition here. Nobody knows where you are in the pose, right? Okay, then we can rest our arms. Just rest. Okay, so we're just resting them there. Palms face up. We relax our head and neck. We engage in the principle of soft noodle. and we engage in our 4-8 breath practice. And then we're meeting or beating our time. So 1 minute, and maybe the knee stays up. It's fine, you know, that's where it is. You are getting the tightness. We are looking for that knee to come down. And then come into the breath. You establish a steady rhythm to your breath. Remember, look to meet or beat your time. So I'll call each minute marker. Now, look to engage in the process, I guess, the feeling of the pose, rather than having this ideal of, well, there's double pigeon, I want to do that. So just let that go. Just get into, you know, follow the directions for the pose, then get into the feeling, get into the process. 2 minutes down. Most of us will not get our knees stacked. So that's fine. Your practice is where your practice is, right? Okay. Use your breath as a refuge if you're finding the stretch really strong. Use your breath to distract you from the stretching discomfort. Look, generally our hips tighten just from our sport or our lack of training them, our lack of doing flexibility. So this is quite a deep hip opening movement. Okay, we're almost there. You can do it. Remember, no sharp shooting pain, no strain on in the inner knee. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Okay, good. Let's reset again. We're running out of time. Let's do a few of these. I want to do super, pose is called banana pose, maybe, forget, but it's for the shoulders. Okay, so this is where we need a wall. Now it's going to be difficult for me to talk to you, do the timing, and have you hear me, but I'll get us started. You're going to come against the wall, and you're going to bring your forehead flush against the skirting board, against the wall. You're going to take your arms out wider than shoulder width, and being attentive, you're going to reach your hands up along the wall. It's a very strong stretch, and we're going to do 3 minutes. Okay, so let's go. Head against the board. I'm starting the clock. Arms wider than shoulder width. Then relax your head and neck. Okay, it's a strong stretch. So here, your fingers, well, okay, let's for now just get a nice stretch. If there's a lot of tightness in your shoulders, then be very attentive here, and maybe this pose isn't for you. Or don't hold it for the full 3 minutes. So I'm actually being nice to you. Normally, well, we build up to 5 minutes, but 5 minutes is pretty full on. So, okay. Now, beware of your back. Do your breath. 4-8 breath. One minute down. If you're finding it very strong, once you're okay about not injuring yourself, if there's a weakness there, just see, can you hang on for 2 minutes? You'd be surprised. Give your focus to your breath, not the stretching discomfort. Now what tends to happen is the hands start to slip down. So you may have to just correct that and reach your fingers back up the wall. Remember, head and neck relaxed. My head's up. I'm cranking it because I want you to hear me. But head and neck relaxed. Get into the process, the feeling of the pose. Do your 4-8 breath. Make the least amount of effort, but okay, 2 minutes, 1 more minute to go. You're making the least amount of effort, but the tendency may be for the fingers to slide down towards the floor if there's a lot of tightness or weakness. So you do need to counter that. Okay, let's, for the last 30 seconds or so, just be silent with our breath. Don't worry, I will call the 3 minutes. We're getting there. Be with your breath. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Wow, slowly, 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 slowly. Bring your hands down. Rest here for a moment. Very good. And then roll over onto your back. Position yourself. We'll do, you're still here, good. We're going to do just 2 minutes of relaxation pose. So then, yeah, we're through our gravity yoga session. Well done. So let's just take even 60 seconds reclining. You can have your eyes closed. Let's do 4-8 breath. So, this would be a breath that we typically would do it in relaxation pose to bring about rest and digest. So breathing in, have your hands on your belly, so your belly lifts. Count 1 to 4. And breathing out, 8 back to 1. One more round, breath in for 1 to 4, your belly lifts. And as you exhale, 8 back to 1, your belly drops. Okay, let's roll over onto one side and push into your hands. Come up to sit. We'll finish with our closing ritual. Sit cross-legged. You can take one hand to your heart, take one hand to your belly. Allow your eyes to close. Turn your gaze inward. Then internally, repeating, may my practice strengthen my body and strengthen my mind. May my practice strengthen my body and strengthen my mind. And then closing off the practice, allow your hands to release and your eyes to open. And we're done. Well done, everybody. Appreciate you coming along and sharing your practice. Tomorrow's practice is with Mikey, and it's a fitness flow. And I believe Mikey is doing Sunday's class as well, easy like a Sunday morning. And Joanne is up front Monday for our fitness flow. And then next Tuesday, actually, exciting new event. Brooke, who you know from practicing with Mikey, she's actually a yoga teacher too, and her particular focus is toddler yoga, parents yoga. So that's on this Tuesday. I'm going to see can I borrow a toddler somewhere just so I can join in. But you know, let anybody you know who you think would be interested in that. I think it would be a really fun hour for parents to do with their child. Yeah, so you know, just if you're wondering about it a little bit more, you can message Brooke or Mikey or just the Facebook page. We'll get back to you. So, see you all in class soon, hopefully. Bye.